Welcome to AM 605, real talk about how to prosper in challenging times. Featuring Vancouver's top realty, mortgage, and wealth advisors. Now, here are your hosts, Melissa Wu, Gary Chan, and Joe Tang.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AM 605. Today is February the 21st. I'm Joe Tang.
I'm Melissa Wu.
I'm Gary Chen.
I'm Ondřej Leipert.
So February is halfway through, and what have we been seeing in the real estate markets, Melissa?
Very active. Very active, especially for detached homes throughout Vancouver and Coquitlam. If it is actually in Greater Vancouver, anything under 2 million has been very, very active.
Yes, last 2 weeks, I will say I have like 5 clients actually coming to me just for pre-approval, just to looking into buying properties. And then sometimes we actually see like what kind of price range that they're looking at. Like some of them they're approving for like 1.5, 2.5, like anything under $2.5 million in Greater Vancouver. I think it's moving. And then like I heard a lot of like my clients actually putting out offers, and they didn't get a house. Which is very sad and frustrating for the clients, actually.
But if you really have to make a move this year, this is the best time still to upgrade because of the record low interest rate. But if you're not thinking of moving, I think it's also maybe a good idea to restructure your mortgage, right? Because if you got the mortgage 2 years ago, it would be 2 point something.
Yeah.
Now it's only 1 point something. It's almost 1% difference, which is like 50% difference in payment.
So in terms of like mortgage interest cost, right? So what we call is cost of borrowing. So in terms of 1% difference, let's say if you have $1 million mortgage, 1% difference, you're actually saving $10,000 per year.
Yes.
So if you actually sign up for a 5-year term, you're considering actually saving $50,000 for the whole term. It's actually a lot of money.
That's a car.
Oh, that's a car. Yeah. So if you may consider actually like lowering your interest rate, and then you may be paying the same payment, but you might get a new car. It actually works the same way, because like if I just borrow another if the client actually wants another $50,000, the payment might be the same or even lower than what they have before.
That's right.
Yeah, but keep in mind that there might be a small penalty like that you need to pay when you're actually getting out from your contract. So talk to your banker, talk to me, talk to us.
That's right. If you're thinking of moving, even though you may feel you're paying a little bit more, but in fact, if you don't pay now, like if you don't buy right now, I feel the market will continue to be very active because of the low interest rate, because the Bank of Canada said they're not like increasing the rate until 2023. And we are only 2021, like the beginning. So I think the market will continue to be this way. It's going to be increasing price for the rest of the year.
So given the hot market and given the multiple offers, and how does when they want to buy a place, how do they position themselves?
So first, they have to get pre-approved, right? If they want to upgrade or pre-approval, so planning to get a mortgage. So know like what is the maximum you want to buy, and then be realistic. And ready to be able to offer. If you found something like you can imagine yourself living in it, it meets your needs and wants, just buy it because you already did your pre-approval.
Yes. I also monitor my clients like transactions a little bit, and then like from the feedback that they have, usually when we are on like multiple offer situation, we actually usually prepare them for another like $100,000 or $200,000 more, because some of the clients they don't really understand the market, or they don't know the market, because like they might actually bought the property 10 years ago, and then all of a sudden they say, we have kids now, we want bigger place, we actually want to upsize, and now they look into the market, I'm thinking of buying like 1.7, something similar listing like next door. But then like eventually they don't know actually the actual sold price on that property is actually $200,000 more because of the multiple offer. So usually I'll let them know about like, this type of property that you may be expecting for maybe like a higher price, then we actually need a more like higher pre-approval mortgage amount, plus you might need a little bit more down payment to cover all the other costs. Because a lot of clients, they got most frustrated because they want to look at 1.4, and then they come to me asking for a pre-approval mortgage for 1.4. Many years ago, like this kind of experience, like from my early mortgage life, I would say, and then they look into properties back in 2014, 2015, everything is like overbidding to like 16, 17. They didn't buy anything. Now everything is like almost like 60% more or 70% higher than 2013 and 2014. So they got priced out from the market and they couldn't upsize. They were thinking the market might go down a little bit more. It did a little bit in the pandemic, like during the pandemic situation. But like right now, I think the market actually came back already.
Yes, especially for detached homes. Yeah, so if you're thinking of moving from a condo to a detached homes, it's still a good time to make a move. Yeah. So first you have to get pre-approval, and second thing is if there is a multiple offer date, suppose there's a listing lots of interest, you might bring an inspector first before the making an offer.
Oh, I heard about these pre-inspection. How does it work?
So as a listing agent, sometimes I would even recommend my client do a pre-inspection. So we actually have an inspection report of the property, and then if there is any like repair or maintenance, we would do it in advance. And if I'm representing a buyer and I know there's a multiple offer coming, we may hire an inspector to go with us. The day of the showing, we will pre-inspect the home, so then we can go in with a no subject offer, right? So if there's multiple offer situation, as a listing agent, of course, I would recommend my seller to take the unconditional offer with the best price. And if I'm representing the buyer, you have to go in with a very serious and strong offer. If it's not serious, then you will get outbid and you will not be able to buy the home that you like.
So you can actually do the pre-inspection. Okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
Is it more common now?
In our current like hot market, it depends on the situation. If it's very well priced, lots of interest, competing offers, I highly recommend do the pre-inspection. For sure. Yeah.
Well, think about the total cost. Let's say if you're buying a $2 million home, right, in Vancouver, but like the inspection cost might only cost you like $500 to $800, depends on the house size, right?
That's right.
So it's actually not that much money in a sense compared to purchase it. But you want to do your own due diligence on making a move on the offer, right?
Yes. So this is our focus like for detached houses, but I heard like some, for pre-sale, for clients that are investing in pre-sale condos, I heard some people are when they come to the completion date, they have a hard time getting the mortgage.
Yes. From our end, we actually looking into the recent appraisal value of the properties, right? So a lot of the properties that's completing in like 2020, 2021, they actually bought the property back in 2017 and 2016. Which is very, very peak of the market. And then like right now there's a lot more condos out there, a lot more supply. You can actually see some of the major areas in like different cities like Richmond, like North Burnaby, South Burnaby, like Coquitlam as well too. So like some of the projects that they're completing right now, and then like the appraisal price didn't came back as what they purchased for.
Yeah. So what do those clients do then?
Well, two things that you can really do. One is actually you need to pay the difference, right? It's sad, but like what you pay is actually investment, right? Because like you pay like 4 years ago, right? But doesn't mean that it will worth the same. Like right now, some people make money, some people lose money. It's like real estate. Sometimes it's still like if you don't live in there, then it's probably like an investment, right?
Yeah, it's not always a go up.
But with pre-sales, it's almost like you're picking your potential. So then picking the right area.
Speculation, right? A little bit speculation.
Exactly. So if you pick a really good area that has good transit, good surroundings, good neighborhood, I think that will be a good investment.
Yes.
But
so if you can hold on to it, get approval somehow, and then it was an investment and you're renting it out, if the rent can cover the mortgage payment, the insurance maintenance fee, and the property tax, and it's still a break even, it's still a good investment. Just hold on to it.
It's a little bit easier now because the interest rate is so low, right? Because let's say if the interest rate actually go back to like 2 years ago, let's say it was like 2.5, 2.9%, then like you're actually doubling the cost, right? You're like the current rental market might not cover. Yeah. So the first thing that they need to do is actually when they go into these kind of situations, they might need to come up with more down payment. So you need to cover the difference, right? Let's say if your property that you purchased is 800,000, the appraisal came back at only $700,000. The bank will actually go by the maximum that you can borrow, but then like the $100,000 difference, you might expect to actually pay it for yourself. Yeah.
So talk to your realtor. Make sure when you make an investment decision that it's a wise one.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also
not
when you're
over
actually
calculate.
and also when you're actually preparing to actually close the property, right? Also talk to your realtor, I'll say like 6 to 9 months before, just to get a sense of the market. Because some of the property you can actually assign to other third parties or your family members. They might be actually interested. That I don't know. But then like potentially if you actually want to assign it to someone else, like when the market it's like demand for that type of property, then you could do that as well. Right? But if you're actually really close to the end, to the closing date, the developer might not allow you to do that. Like let's say if you're like 2 months closing, they might not allow you for any assignments. Yeah, that's the second solution.
Yeah. So like lots of puzzles to the picture
Yeah.
for the picture to come out winning.
So Melissa, since the luxury market I heard is actually moving as well
It
too.
is,
I
yeah.
heard some of the
A lot of, like,
condos,
4 or 5 million
yeah,
also.
in
I think real estate is a domino effect. So whenever there's a money funded, people upgrading.
Yeah.
So upgrading, and then it's like domino effect. Now it's like $3-4 million, 5 million. We just sold on West Second for over 5 million. So like and the last month we had one at 6 million. So it is moving. The luxury homes are moving.
Yes.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah. You actually see some penthouse in downtown area, Yaletown and Cole Harbour actually get sold
Yes.
close to listing price.
Yeah. 5-6 million. The luxury is moving. Yeah.
And some of the over 10 million there as well too.
So if you're thinking of selling, which you couldn't sell in 2019, this is a good time to get the good price.
Luxury homes.
The luxury homes.
How
about the stock market?
The stock market, it's been pretty steady Eddie for the last couple of weeks. Nothing.
A little bit correction, right? Like a healthy pullback, you mentioned.
It's a small pullback, not like a huge 10 or 20 or 30% decline, but and it's a slow gradual movement as well. And so in the last 2 weeks, you saw little dips, small dips. So all in all, we may have pulled back only 2 to 3% from the peak, which is healthy, like I was saying before, right? We need something, a little bit of pullback to avoid a bubble. So that's kind of like, so there's nothing, like no major news that's causing people to panic, to make a big drop or anything of that nature. But definitely just the market's doing its own thing as people are maybe profit taking. Doesn't seem to be wrong with the economy. Things still be chugging along, but the market is slowly moving.
Is it stabilizing right now, or is there a bubble?
It's stabilizing.
Okay.
Stabilizing. The drop is actually a good pullback, because if it just continue moving higher, then we would be in a bubble and we would be in trouble.
So I heard like some of my clients' feedback about like the tech companies, like is there a tech bubble? Because like a lot of like tech companies actually went up a lot.
Yes and no, depending on which tech company you're talking about, right? If you're talking about companies that like EXP or Microsoft or
Is Tesla a technology company?
It's Tesla. Tesla is a big topic.
I would say yes and no. So the yes is like if you pick tech companies that have a really good solid revenue. Yeah, Microsoft. Good solid revenue, net income every single quarter.
Apple.
Yeah, things like that. Like I wouldn't be concerned about it. Like they're worth what they're worth. But if you pick a tech company that isn't really consistently making money, then I would be a bit more concerned about it. Because as long as the company has solid income, then they're fine.
Blue chip tech company.
Yeah, like I said, Apple, Microsoft, right? Those one would be.
Amazon.
Amazon's making a lot of money. So those ones I'm not concerned about, because then forever they'll be making money consistently. But if you pick something that isn't, then I would be a bit more concerned. But this year, as I said before, this year is the non-tech guys are going to be growing a lot more as soon as the economy. No, not penny stocks. The non-tech stocks.
Obviously, I'm not an expert.
those guys would benefit the most when the economy reopens. Let's say, for example, Boeing. Like Boeing, people would fly again, and obviously airlines would order from Boeing. Like, so that's what.
All the planes, like there aren't that many flights, right?
No, they're just parked on the side.
Why would they need to order more when they still have them?
Well, so here's the thing. So when the economy reopens, so you're preparing for the reopening, right? So when the economy reopens, people can fly again, people can travel again. So then they would need, they're ordering for the next 2 to 3 years, right? Because to manufacture a plane, you don't
catch up on all the flying.
Exactly.
To use
Catch
the
up.
air miles.
To catch up here.
Expiring. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the points are expiring. It's been a year.
No, I got the status again.
Do they expire?
Yeah, some
They do
cards
expire, and then I think my AirCat, they actually extended my 50K for another year.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice of them.
Which is
Someone said
good.
they canceled the flight and they put it in a bank. They should just refund me the money. Right? For COVID, when you cancel the flight, it should refund, not put in the bank. I want it in my bank.
Oh, they give you a gift card, right? Like
Yeah, there's some kind of account, like a bank.
credit.
Mhm.
But they always want to keep your money.
Yeah.
Not pointing on any like airline.
I had a ticket before when I booked like last year March. They just refund me the money.
Well, we're all waiting to travel, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm having withdrawals. Especially after the snowstorm last week.
We want to go somewhere warm. We want to go somewhere fun. Oh, so then, So next week we're gonna have Ondřej, who's gonna talk.
Exciting news.
There's exciting news. There's something that's coming up. We're not gonna talk too much about it, but do you want to give us kind of like a preview of anything, Ondřej?
Answer I cannot. Stay tuned for next week.
All right, the man said
Exciting news. Stay tuned.
he may be pregnant or there's some other thing. But stay tuned to find out. Stay tuned to find out. Until next week. See you guys.
See ya. Bye.
If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, you have to check out AM 605 on Facebook, where it's all about real investment and financing strategies. Brought to you by Melissa Wu PREC, Gary.chan Mortgage Team, and Tang Wealth and Investment.